It all started with the fishing trip on Sunday afternoon.
There was no spot here. There was nobody on the beach because it was such a high surf.
Despite the high surf warnings, David, his girlfriend Casey, and her daughter Kaya came to Shell Beach anyway.
And we were trying to just find a spot where we could set up our equipment, just our lawn chair, our ice chest, and our umbrella.
The family has been postponing a fishing trip.
On the last 2 weekends, we were trying to get out here.
And after settling on a dry piece of land, they understood why no one was here.
A wave came high around that point right there and washed up onto us. And that's when we realized we needed to get out of there.
The waves hit them pretty hard. In the process, Dave lost his shoe, but found something else.
He came back with a bottle and he had it held up and he was pointing at it.
It was a message in a bottle.
And he was just showing it to us, and I just thought it was really cool.
It was tattered and had gotten kind of wet, so we unpeeled it really carefully and laid it out and let the sun dry it.
And according to the date, it's been out at sea for quite some time.
This was dated 2010 from Maui, Hawaii. A little girl sent it out.
Inside the bottle, an invitation.
This long lost bottle is especially inviting you to Safina's birthday.
With the name and number for a Kim Woodstocker, who they assume is Safina's mom. It's also very likely that Kaya and Safina are around the same age.
I would just want to talk to her.
So she'd like to let Safina know that 4 years after it was written, her bottle made it safe to the beaches of California.
She would just be really excited that somebody actually found it.
In Shell Beach, Juanita Adame, KCOY 12 Central Coast News.
What happened?
We just want to climb that.
That these three teenage boys are referring to is Morro Rock.
And we just kind of made it our mission to get up to the top. It was really hard.
Hard because the historic landmark stands 581 feet tall.
And we looked up and the boys were up there. So, not a great surprise.
Why they did it?
Because it looked really fun and we thought like we could do it. So we just did it.
It wasn't until they reached the top that Hunter, Dominic, and Trevor realized they were in trouble.
Really steep, and then I realized I couldn't climb back up.
It took 6 different agencies and about 3 hours to safely get the boys back on the ground.
So we saw firemen coming from all the way over there, and you could see the sirens from everywhere.
And once at the bottom,
Ended up being yelled at by tons of police.
citations were waiting for all 3 of them.
Yeah.
We got
That we
cited,
did.
all of us.
What did you get cited for?
Trespassing.
And a lifelong lesson they won't soon forget.
Thank our rescuers.
Thank you.
Kevin and Scott.
Climbing Morro Rock is never a good idea.
I don't know any other names of Kevin and Scott.
Perry Froelich loves to fish.
You know, I come out here about 3 times a week.
He says coming out to Stearns Wharf is one of his favorite pastimes, so he always makes it a point to only fish in designated areas.
And today I got 4 big bat rays. One of them was probably 80 pounds. And we all follow the protocol at the end of the pier.
But protocol is not something everyone follows.
They'll just pull up and just start fishing right there without even thinking sometimes that, there's people eating, sometimes that they don't want to necessarily see fish being brought up because, sometimes people get nauseous when they see fish.
Jeremy Hutton works at Stearns Wharf Bait and Tackle. He says he was pleased to hear that the city of Santa Barbara is considering an ordinance to propose and enforce designated fishing areas.
To have more enforcement on that because it'll make people more aware of the small little actions that they do on a daily basis.
Others, however, say they'd like to see the opposite. Alexis Baranoff frequents the wharf as well. He says sometimes it can get a little crowded.
We really like having more area to fish in. That way we can kind of move around and spread ourselves out. If they were to designate areas, it might kind of crowd the pier quite a bit.
Broken windows, crashed cars, and a message on the front door written in black marker. A heart with the words, "You've been hit by El Rey Guardiante." These are just a few of the images that employees of the Entravision station found when they got to work on Monday.
Going through the building, it looked like the building had pretty much been ransacked. There were miscellaneous computers and things that had been removed and put in a vehicle out in the parking lot, which actually belonged to the television business itself.
Police say it happened at about 3:30 in the morning. This is when they were called to the local Spanish news station to find 34-year-old Pablo Quiros Jr. still inside the building. Quiros, a former employee of the news station, destroyed office equipment, satellites, hard drives, and company vehicles, all the while documenting his crime spree with updates and pictures on his Twitter account. One tweet reads, "Brand new hard drive, just come to KPMR, bring your girlfriend."
Social media evidence, and that'll be actually a significant part to that case. If he's recording his own actions during the commission of the crime, that'll be significant.
Quiros is being charged with commercial burglary and felony vandalism.
Like there was quite a bit of damage just done to the glass and into the computers and things like that, so I'm sure it could be in the tens of thousands of dollars.
If convicted, police say he could face prison time.